agree, however, that this was a monumental mistake. The Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
It was monumental. It's a season maker or breaker, correct?
Do you say that was it a monumental success? So how soon do you think the Cavs get back to the NBA Finals?
The Cavs?
Yeah. Because he had some saying that was personnel. Nobody had a problem. Nobody said anything.
You mean the current Cavs?
The current Cavaliers, how long?
When they get healthy, when they get everybody back.
So you believe in the next, let's say, the next 5 years, the Cavaliers will be in the NBA Finals?
They got a shot, man. There's
they're no longer recommending that shot. Because everything has died down, so we good right now for the time being.
I mean, when they get Jared Allen and Colin Sexton back with Darius Garland from Vanderbilt University and Markkanen, all of a sudden you're like, wait a second.
Do you believe had LeBron not come to the Lakers? Because remember, once Kobe retires, Skip, the Lakers were not on television. You do realize that, unless they played somebody that was good for them. So that they were on TV at the expense for someone else to slaughter. So now, LeBron James is not there. Do you believe the Lakers would have been on television as much as they have? Do you believe they'd have won a championship without LeBron James coming to the Lakers?
I do not. Okay. But I also think that Jeannie Buss should now fire LeBron as GM because it's the kind of fatal mistake you just cannot make. And I believe they did defer to him. It was widely reported that it was LeBron's push to go get Russ instead of DeMar. And I'm going to take that to my bank because so many of the top reporters said that's how it fell out. That Rob Pelinka wanted to go with a trade for Buddy Hield. Even you've acknowledged this, right?
Yeah. Because you signed DeMar DeRozan, you trade Cool straight up for Buddy Hield.
I think it was straight up.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. You slow out on if the Lakers are as out on LeBron as you are, I would just trade him.
Well, I mean,
I would keep Russ.
I'm not talking about him as a basketball player. I'm talking about him as the GM. The unofficial, sort of unspoken GM.
I mean, everybody thinks LeBron James has ruined the Lakers. You're going to find out. You're going to find out if you ruined the Lakers.
Now you're going to Aaron Rodgers on me.
Yeah!
You stink it up, you fail epically, and then you say, okay, well, I'll just go somewhere else or I'll quit.
No, I ain't going to quit. But I go somewhere. All I know is this is what we know. Everywhere LeBron's been is what is also followed along. It's like Pigpen. Pigpen on Peanuts, when he walk along, there's a cloud of dirt behind him. When LeBron James walk behind him, there's a cloud of titles behind him. That's where everywhere he goes, that's what happens when he leaves.
He has been walking just ahead of a cloud of dirt this year. You know it, and I know
Yes,
he has been Pigpen. The NBA's Pigpen is that guy number 6.
So you expect him to go to the championship and win the title every year?
No, I don't.
I mean, 10 and 13 years is pretty good, wouldn't you think?
But they did have a chance to be very good this year, and a crucial move was made or not made, and it was the buck stopped with number 6. I believe that.
Yeah.
And I believe Jeannie believes it. And from what I know of Jeannie over many years is she is very proud. She is stubbornly proud. She is not afraid of LeBron James, and she's not afraid to put people back in their places as the owner and operator of the Los Angeles Lakers. And I believe that she spoke loudly without saying a word when at the trade deadline it was widely reported that the Houston Rockets are just sitting there saying, we will take him off your hands, but you got to take John Wall off our hands, and we want that number 1. Yeah, I don't know if Christian Wood was involved in or not.
But Skip, here's the thing.
But it was about the 1, and I believe Jeannie sat back and said,
Yo, you got a mic?
I'll be damned if I'll give up all that I got left here, which is my 2027 first-round pick, for him because he made this mistake. So she was basically saying to LeBron over this back half of the year, you made your bed, now lie in it.
But if you go back and look at it, since 96, Kobe is the only homegrown player that stayed in 1.
Got a mic, buddy?
Shaq and Big Shot Bob and all these guys and Paul Gasol and Trevor and all these other guys, they came on.
Okay.
Lamar Odom, the Lakers didn't draft them.
Nope.
The Lakers have always traded for guys that they got. You look at who they got. Okay, they hit it out the park when they got Magic and they got James Worthy. But Jamal Wilkes was not drafted by them.
Was not.
Bob McAdoo, all those guys, the Kareem, all those guys. The Lakers have always traded for guys, Skip.
But they traded for the wrong guy.
Yes, they did. Well, damn, Skip, you wanted right every time?
No, but again, I consider LeBron to have the highest IQ in basketball, but sometimes great players don't make always great GMs because they can't see the forest for the trees because they're too good at what they do.
What about Skip? This was one time. This is a one-off. What about the all?
Yeah, but
remember,
it's a 2-year mistake. That's the problem.
But what about the 4 great years in Cleveland, the 4 finals? What about Miami? So we're not going to even count those. Huh?
Well, but I don't think he GM'd in Miami because you don't mess with Pat Riley.
I'm sure he recommended some people. Obviously, but see, Skip, when you talk about Pat Riley has built championship teams. So he has understanding of that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody who would ever build a championship team with the Lakers. Who would ever build a championship team with the Cavaliers? What the hell they know?
You're right.
I would trust Pat Riley. John, the guy, he's the general manager of Clippers now, Jerry West. I ain't bothered. I'm not even going up there that man off because I know what he's going to do. I know he's going to put the right pieces around me. But I also know he's going to hire the right coach to coach. So I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just going to sit back and do my thing. We being my people, we going to work because we got all these antennas out there. We doing a lot of different things. You see, we got nominated for an award. Yeah.
What award?
Emmy.
The Razzie? The Razzie. You won the Razzie Award.
Nah.
The Raspberry, right? You were the worst actor.
But you see what they did? Unfortunately, Bruce Willis is have a, and they took his back.
Okay.
Well, take out back. Take
yours back. You're just fine, unless you say you got a knee injury.
We got a knee.
Okay.
You need to take
All
out
right,
back.
guys, let me jump in here and save you from yourselves. Because still to come, we're going to recap Skip and Shannon's all-time sports Mount Rushmores. I love this debate. Don't go anywhere. It's up next. It's now been more than 2 weeks since the Cleveland Browns created shockwaves throughout the football world after trading for Deshaun Watson. However, former #1 overall pick and Heisman Trophy winner Baker Mayfield still on that roster. General Manager Andrew Berry is in no rush to trade Mayfield. He says Baker is a professional. He's under contract and we have the flexibility, referring to the cap, whether he's on the roster or not. So we don't really feel pressed to rush into anything that's suboptimal. Shannon, is this good news or bad news for Baker?
Well, I'm going to use the word that's not optimal. Baker, they need a parting of the ways. Both parties have said it best that they go their separate ways.
Yeah.
Baker said it in an interview. I think he texted or he talked to Adam Schefter. He put out this very public statement saying, thanking Cleveland Browns as if he was leaving. And the Cleveland Browns openly, publicly courted Deshaun Watson and eventually signed Deshaun Watson. Skip, I don't know the purpose of having a $19 million backup. Baker Mayfield is the #1 overall draft pick 5 years ago. He doesn't want to be a backup. He does not want to be a backup. He doesn't want to be in Cleveland anymore. So not only are you trying to make me a backup, you're trying to make me be a backup in a place I don't want to be.
Correct.
So and they signed Jacoby Brissett with the anticipation of if Deshaun Watson gets suspended, forever how length of time that is, whatever the amount of time that is, Skip, we got a guy that's been a quarterback, that's been a starting quarterback, could possibly hold the fort down. We're going to surround him with great talent, and we believe he can hold the fort down until Deshaun comes back.
Yep.
So I will pay one quarterback $46 million, another quarterback $19 million. That's what, $60+ million, almost $70 million, and then I'm gonna give another quarterback $3.5 million. That makes absolutely no sense.
Although Andrew Berry says we have the cap room to facilitate that if we have to, and and I know they're not going.
They're not going. All he's trying to do, he's still trying to maximize as much value. Well, if y'all don't give us what we want, we'll just hold on to it. Okay. Hold on to him. You're not hurting my cap. You're not hurting my team. You're not hurting my locker room. That's going to be a very, very uncomfortable situation.
I'd say.
That's a very, very, very uncomfortable situation because Baker's going to be walking around the locker room like, Man, y'all stood up more for Odell, who ain't even here, than y'all did for me. And, I mean, what's up? What's going on? And to walk by and you wanted me out of here. And you didn't like me. You probably was up in there and Jimmy and D have some longer. Talking about, yeah, we need to go get another quarterback. Skip, it's gonna be, you know, look, everybody knows Baker cannot and will not set foot back in that locker room.
He will not.
So
we know it.
So Andrew Berry is just trying to maintain a high trade value, which I don't believe is there any longer. Skip, you cannot get maximum value this late in the game. Free agency happened over a month ago. And you think you can get a first or second round pick? Nobody's that desperate because now you're like 2 weeks away from the draft.
Yep.
And you got quarterbacks coming in. So I think the best they can get is probably a 5th round draft pick, but there's no way, Skip, that I see Baker Mayfield being back on Cleveland.
This has turned into what just might be the greatest game of chicken ever played in the history of your league, the National Football League. This is all about leverage that Cleveland has zero of.
They don't have any leverage.
Because once you plunge on Deshaun, and again, I'm not condemning.
Right.
But when you plunge $230 million guaranteed, when you break your bank and you break all the rules of the quarterback bank, when you set the bar way higher than you probably needed to set it, because I think you were betting against you're negotiating against yourself, right? Because I still believe New Orleans was about
you got
to be
a mic?
out, and I think Atlanta was getting cold feet.
You got a
but
mic?
there's no way they're going to guarantee.
No.
Yeah.
No, well, why would I guess, Skip? You already got you on the contract. You're just about
Hey,
to
buddy.
start the 4 years, 146. Why
Can you hear me? I can't really hear shit you're saying. I can't hear you. I can hear you just a little bit, but barely. We can stick together if you want. It's up to you.
out there, and I just don't know what we have. So there you are, Ps5. I think he got 10. I think he's been there over a decade. So, Coach Belichick, go on out there with them cut off shirt. And get your cheeseburger and throw to the pole and say, you know what? What Pete Carroll said, one of the things until give guys like an Eric Bieniemy, give guys like a Byron Leftwich an opportunity. We just listen. Okay.
Well said. Agreed. Appreciate that he took a stand and stood up. This was in a GM coach meeting, not an owner. Right. The owners just heard this. Pete lost me a little bit on the Kaepernick issue. Remember, back a couple of weeks ago, suddenly he's doing a run-of-the-mill for a state of the union, and he says, "No one asked me about Colin Kaepernick." No, nobody did ask me. Trying to spin out of that, like why we had to train that. So I'm like, well, Pete, what are you doing? This is a little wacky. And again, if you think Colin Kaepernick is still playing, he deserves a second chance. You give him one. You had a shot to give him one in 2017, and you brought him in. You wouldn't even let him stand up and whiteboard play, right? You definitely wouldn't let him put on a practice gear to go work out.
If he deserves a second chance, I'm not sure if in the NFL is what he also said. Well, what the hell do you care about?
I don't know, but it just completely lost me. But clearly, he's now on some kind of crusade where he's trying to
get him off him.
I guess so. I don't know. So I appreciate the fact that it was and they probably did not like it because we're trying. You know, we're trying to make new rules. We're trying to force you to do this, and you must do that. And you got to do candidate.
Ain't no matter there's no rule that's going to change how owner thinks and what he sees. You just need to say, you know what? Okay, let me get a chance. Let me sit down and talk about it. Let me have that conversation with you. Because that's what I don't believe the Steelers had any intention of hiring Mike Tomlin. He went in there and looked, they had no choice. That's how well he prepared. He learned under Tony Dungy, Coach Dungy, he always talks. My job is to I'm always trying to prepare them to become better. How you do things, how you run a team, how you pick players, how you interact with the players, how you interact with the boss. Coach Dungy is always trying to have all that he said, yeah, coaches just I'm trying to prepare my coaches to become head coaches. I'm also trying to prepare my players so Coach Dungy's been great at that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I give Mr. Irsay some credit because he didn't have to. I mean, because Coach Dungy handpicked them going. Mr. Irsay could have put them up in that record, but he trusted Coach Dungy, and he did a great job. Just a good football. Payne got hurt. They go 2-14, I think, and he ended up losing his job. But yes, you're gonna have to have a change. They're gonna these owners are gonna have John Cuba. You're gonna have to change of heart. Yep.
So, in the end, can Pete put action with words? Because the next one would be, would he step down in favor of eliminating political?